Tell us about this first movie that you like.
Yes.
Apparently.
Well, it's How to Have Sex, which is the feature debut from writer-director Molly Manning Walker, who was also the cinematographer on Charlotte Reagan's Scrapper. You remember Scrapper? Harris Dickinson came in to talk about that film. Remember that, which you enjoyed very much?
No, I wasn't here.
Who was? It was somebody else. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I am interchangeable.
Well, anyway,
Whoever
Harris
it
Dickinson
was.
came on the show to talk about it, and
Yes.
you must have been off somewhere doing something else. Anyway, How to Have Sex won the Un Certain Regard award at Cannes this year.
what?
The Uncertain Regard,
Okay.
which is it's one of the strands, and the joke is always that it's the films that are regarded uncertainly by the Cannes jury. So, a group of British teenage girls go on holiday to Malia in Crete. They have finished their exams, results are pending, and they are determined to have a wild time, which will involve drinking, dancing, and hopefully, as far as they're concerned, having blissful holiday sex. Here's a clip.
Oh my god! This is insane! Oh my god! Look at this swan!
Oh mate, I
They
fucking
left
love
us
the
swans.
clone.
Oh,
me.
babe, stunning! Outfit number 1 sorted.
Sky, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Deep fried fag. You're
No,
nutter.
just turn it off.
But I will have one, thank
They're
you.
already dry.
Okay.
I got own free.
Wow.
Fucking luxury.
Hey, for you!
Thank you. Thanks.
Best view I've ever seen in my life!
Imagine that you've got the room next to them.
Well, in fact, the room next to them is full of other people exactly the same because
my
of the resort they've
goodness me.
gone to. So Mia McKenna Bruce, Laura Peake, Emma Lewis. So from the outside, and in fact from that clip, it may look like it's, crazy drunk teens abroad adventure, sort of, like a gender reversed Kevin and Perry or the In-Betweeners remade for the After Sun crowd. It is a very different film to what that looks like, and it is a very, very good film. It's kind of shiny on the outside, but very dark and very personal on the inside. So on the one hand, it deals with the kind of that, the desperate hedonism of the holiday abroad, which in British cinema, that takes you back to the, to Carry On movies. And, there is a whole strain of British cinema about, Brits going abroad and losing all their inhibitions. But what it also captures rather brilliantly are the grimmer realities of youth, particularly in terms of sexual interaction, sexual consent, and the way in which a situation can go from fun, drunken fun, to coercion, to assault, to something completely in a kind of horrible, fudgy grey area that means that at any one time it's kind of hard to know what's going on. And what happens is that as the central characters have these, drunken adventures, it becomes apparent that the way in which those things are playing out are nothing like as innocent as they may have hoped or expected. Now, I think that like After Sun, this owes a debt, or at least a sort of, a historical debt to, there's a brilliant Lynn Ramsey film, Morven Caller, which has been cited quite a lot since After Sun. Some of us always loved Morven Caller. It was the great sort of Lynn Ramsey overlooked masterpiece. Because it has that kind of combination of, on the one hand, there is earthy grit. I mean, you saw that thing. It's almost like a documentary. It's like one of those things you'd see on a Channel 4 documentary about, drunken Brits abroad. On the other hand, it has this visual style, which is kind of slightly dreamy, slightly woozy, slightly drunken, slightly hungover, which gives it a kind of, there is a poetry in the way that it captures that experience. It also, I think, brilliantly evokes its heroine's inner experience. Obviously, I am a 60-year-old white man. I talked to Eleni Jones, who's a colleague of mine, she said that she thought it captured brilliantly the feelings of being a young woman in that world. And obviously she would know that better than I would. But I think one of the things about cinema is that cinema, and we've talked about this in terms of empathy before, is that cinema can put you in the position of a character who's completely different to you, and you feel like you are understanding their world and you are seeing the world through their eyes and you're experiencing the world through their eyes. And I definitely got this sense of, okay, I'm understanding what that experience is like. And that experience becomes very, very dark and very, very complex. And in a way that I thought really brilliantly captures the way in which consent becomes a danger zone, and in which people can find themselves in positions that can go from one thing to another thing in a heartbeat. And then afterwards, it's very hard to exactly explain what it ever was. Now, none of this is to say that the film is nothing but dark, because actually it's the performances are great, so naturalistic, you really believe in these people. And obviously from my point of view, just the idea about being surrounded by drunken partying teenagers, that sounds like a headache in a can from the beginning. So I think it's a real achievement that what it did was it drew me in, it showed me their world and made me understand what was going. So I think it's a really, really striking piece of work. And I think its depiction of that experience seems to be completely authentic, and it deals with some really complicated subject matter in a way that is so deft that you almost don't notice how complex it is. I think it's and I think you would really like it, despite your reaction, which was exactly my reaction which is imagine having the room next to them.
Yes. Deep fried cigarettes.
It's because the cigarettes have got wet, so they're drying
in
them
the
out.
frying pan. And that's a cinematic release.
It is a cinematic release, and it's very, very critically acclaimed, and rightly so. It's called How to Have Sex. Molly Manning Walker, real talent to watch.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.